A paper clip is one of the simplest objects found on a desk. It is made from a single piece of metal wire, yet producing millions of identical paper clips requires precise wire processing, high-speed forming machines, accurate bending, quality inspection, and automated packaging. Inside a modern paper clip factory, long coils of steel wire are transformed into perfectly shaped clips at remarkable speed. So how does a straight piece of wire become the familiar paper clip? This is how millions of paper clips are made. The process begins with large coils of steel wire. The wire arrives wound into compact industrial coils that can contain thousands of meters of material. Before production begins, the wire is checked for diameter, surface condition, strength, and overall consistency. These measurements are important because the entire forming process depends on the wire having the correct dimensions. The approved coil is mounted onto a large automated wire feeding system. The machine gradually unwinds the coil and guides the wire toward the forming line. As the wire moves forward, tension control equipment keeps the material stable and prevents unwanted movement or tangling. The wire then passes through a series of straightening rollers. These rollers remove the natural curves created while the wire was stored in a coil. Each roller applies controlled pressure from a different direction until the wire becomes straight and consistent. This stage may look simple, but precise straightening is essential. If the wire is not properly aligned, even a small deviation can affect the shape of every paper clip produced afterward. Once straightened, the continuous wire enters the high-speed forming machine. This is where the straight wire begins its transformation. The machine uses precisely positioned guides, rollers, pins, and forming tools to control the movement of the wire. Instead of manually bending each clip, the equipment performs a sequence of extremely fast mechanical movements. The wire is guided into the first bend. Then another forming tool changes its direction. A series of controlled bends gradually creates the familiar elongated shape of the paper clip. The forming sequence is synchronized with the movement of the wire so that every clip follows exactly the same path. At production speeds of hundreds or even thousands of pieces per minute, timing must be extremely precise. A small change in the position of a forming tool could affect the shape of an entire production batch. As the wire continues through the machine, additional bends create the inner loop and outer frame of the clip. The forming tools work in rapid succession, wrapping the wire around carefully positioned guides. The final geometry is determined by the shape and position of these tools. This is the key stage where a simple straight wire becomes a recognizable paper clip. The finished clip is then separated from the continuous wire. A precision cutting mechanism makes a clean cut at the required point. The machine immediately continues with the next forming cycle. This creates a continuous stream of identical paper clips moving away from the forming station. The production line can operate for long periods while maintaining remarkably consistent dimensions. After forming, the clips enter an inspection section. Automated cameras examine the paper clips as they travel along the conveyor. The system checks their overall shape, dimensions, alignment, and visible surface condition. Clips that are bent incorrectly or fall outside the required specifications can be automatically removed. Some production lines also use precision gauges or sensors to verify critical dimensions. The goal is simple: every paper clip should have the same basic geometry and fit the required specification. Surface finishing may also be performed depending on the type of paper clip being manufactured. Some clips remain with their natural metal finish, while others may receive a coating or surface treatment. The finishing process can improve appearance, corrosion resistance, or handling characteristics. After treatment, the clips pass through controlled drying or conditioning equipment when required. The finished surface is then checked again before packaging. Once the paper clips are approved, they move toward the counting and packaging section. Because individual paper clips are small and lightweight, automated counting systems are used to prepare precise quantities. High-speed sensors detect the clips as they pass through the system. The machine separates the required number into individual batches. These batches are then transferred into boxes, plastic containers, bags, or other packaging formats depending on the product. The packaging line operates continuously. Empty packages are automatically positioned, filled with the correct quantity, and sealed. Printing equipment can add product information, batch codes, and other identification marks. Automated cameras inspect the packages to make sure they are correctly filled and properly sealed. Any package that fails inspection can be removed before shipment. The approved packages move toward secondary packaging. Automated machines group individual packs into larger cartons for transportation. Cardboard cartons are formed, filled, closed, and sealed without stopping the production flow. Depending on the product, each shipping carton can contain thousands of individual paper clips. The completed cartons are then labeled for storage and distribution. Robotic palletizing systems arrange the cartons into stable layers on large pallets. Each carton is positioned according to a predetermined pattern to create a balanced load. Once the pallet is complete, an automated wrapping machine surrounds the entire stack with protective stretch film. The wrapped pallets are transferred into the finished goods warehouse. Inside the warehouse, large quantities of paper clips are organized according to product type, batch, and destination. Forklifts and automated handling equipment move pallets between storage areas and loading docks. Orders are prepared for stationary suppliers, retailers, distributors, offices, and other customers. Finally, the finished paper clips leave the factory. What started as a long coil of steel wire has passed through straightening rollers, precision forming tools, cutting equipment, inspection systems, and automated packaging machines. Every bend has to be accurate. Every cut has to be consistent. And every package has to contain the correct quantity. The remarkable part is not the complexity of the paper clip itself, but the speed and precision required to produce millions of identical pieces. A simple loop of wire becomes a finished product through hundreds of tiny mechanical movements repeated thousands of times. From the first steel coil to the final packaged product, the entire process is designed around speed, consistency, and precision. This is how millions of paper clips are formed, inspected, counted, and packaged inside a modern high-speed manufacturing factory.